So I am Richard Urankar. I've been on the Peace House board since 2017. I was the board treasurer from 2017 until 2021, and then was honored to become the board chairperson from 2021 until 2025. Prior to moving to Park City, I was very actively involved in public affairs and political matters back in the state of New Jersey. And when we retired and moved here, I thought that I would cut back on those activities and not serve on so many boards and commissions and such. After a few years, I found myself a little bit bored playing golf and skiing all the time. So I kind of had my antenna up when one of Peace House's favorite people and I were at a dinner together, Karen Marriott, and when we talked, she was like, well, if you're thinking about something, I know a really good organization that could use a board member. And so we talked. I learned more about Peace House. When I first said to Karen Marriott that, yeah, I'll consider being on the board, I think I also may have said to her, I really don't think I've been touched by domestic abuse or been around it in my lifetime. I said, I feel very fortunate, so it's probably a good mission for me to be involved with to help give back in some way the good fortune I've had. But I recognize now that the community around me wasn't really so free of abuse as I thought. And that was because of twofold things. One, that I didn't really understand the issue. I didn't really know what to watch for and what was normal and what was abnormal, what was just relationships between men and women and families. And what I thought oftentimes was just normal, I see now had elements that were abusive. And the second issue that I've come to realize was all around me, but I didn't notice it, is how much domestic abuse was widely viewed, and probably still is in many places, as primarily a woman's issue and not a man's issue. And I quickly came to realize that's one of the most fundamental problems we have with domestic abuse, is that men aren't stepping up and taking responsibility for their actions as much as we should be. And oftentimes, I think we men don't even realize that we're saying or doing things that are inappropriate. For example, laughing at an inappropriate joke, which I will confess I've done over the years, but now I'm aware of it and I think differently. And occasionally I will, if I hear something, I'll then privately say to the person that, I've been involved at Peace House, I've learned a lot, and that joke really wasn't appropriate because it showed a tolerance for domestic abuse. And that's the message we need to move away from, and that's why education in our schools and around our community and talking about it is so critical. And I think we just have to speak up more. When we see things, we hear things, and not hold it back, and I think that's happening.
Excellent.
So many, sadly, women have shared with me stories of abuse in their own life. After knowing I was involved with Peace House, after knowing that I was on the board and such, usually after an event like Spring Luncheon, they'd come up to me and thank me for being involved and share their story. And it became so aware how many people were around me, my neighbors. I'm so fortunate to have had the life I've had, starting with fabulous parents, but just economically being comfortable and having opportunities and sometimes privileges, and not being aware, but now becoming aware that even in this environment that I've lived in, it's just so common. It's all around me. When we say I wouldn't let somebody do that or I wouldn't give something to somebody, it's not conversational. And for most of my life, I thought it was conversational. And it just makes me more and more aware of how pervasive the attitudes are in some places, or can be, and with young men who are so impressionable, and looking up for father figures and other role models, to hear things like that from someone you admire. When you're young, you start following down that path. Now that I'm older, it's just disappointing. Yeah, absolutely. And it hurts. And it makes me sad. In addition to realizing that men need to step up more and understand more, I came to realize just how different the world is for women than for men. That we had an exercise here last year, and Catherine gave everybody a pair of colored glasses to emphasize that we all see things through the prism of whatever our glasses allow us to see. And it's not bad, it's not good, it's just the world as we see it, the world as we know it. And as I think about domestic abuse and sexual abuse specifically, and I think about the issues I've become more aware of that women think about every day that I don't think men think about hardly ever. I meet a new person, do I need to worry about this person being a threat? Why is this person being nice to me? Do they want something? I don't know that I've hardly ever had to think that way, much less to think that way most every day, if not every day. And I just don't really think men can really appreciate, most of us can't really appreciate or understand how different it would be as a woman moving through the world. You asked me what I'm excited about for the future of Peace House, and I'm excited about the future of Peace House, and not just for any one thing. And I'm excited about the future of, now this sounds funny, the domestic violence issue, because the way it's going to be addressed moving forward is going to be so different. And it's going to give us more opportunities to listen and understand and be aware. And so I think the more openness, the coming of light with the issue and the acceptance of Peace House in our community, and that's another thing I learned about our community, is we are very, very important to the people who come into our shelter. But I think we are probably equally important, if not more important, to all the members of our community who really benefit from knowing we're here and knowing that we care and knowing if there's a problem that we'll be there for them and for others, almost like a fire department or a police department. If someone has a need, we're there. But because of the silence of the issue and the underground nature of the issue, I just never saw that as much. But the future of Peace House excitement is just getting us out there getting this out there and making people understand that we need to change, we need to do things differently. That to me is a pretty exciting transformational moment for Peace House and for our community and for much more, much more.